Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on today, and whatever time you'll be watching this video. This episode of As a Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. I am your host, Nacho Mama. Some people call me Crystal, some people call me Criddle, like Riddle with a C. Either way, Nacho Mama is a personality, not a person. Today we're going to read for the Sagittarius collective. The Sagittarius, what is my biggest obstacle for Sagittarius? I've been doing a lot of whatever spirit wants us to know type of readings, so I figured I would ask more specific questions. And today's specific question is, what is my biggest obstacle for Sagittarius? Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. I'm super close to 500. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I keep mixing that up. If I keep saying I'm almost there, then I'm only going to be more almost there. So I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. And I'm super excited about it. Sagittarius. What is the biggest obstacle for Sagittarius? Universe, Source, Spirit, please use me as a conduit to express the best message for whatever Sagittarius's biggest obstacle is. Please and thank you. Samo to be. Amen. Sagittarius. What is the biggest obstacle for Sagittarius? So you're worried about some sort of disaster? Frenzied. We have frenzied and disaster. With the Ten of Cups. With marriage. Are you frenzied about getting married, Sagittarius? Do you think it's going to be a disaster? Are you all up in your head, some sort of like cold feet, wedding cold feet or something? Or do you think that like it was a disaster to choose the person that you're getting married to? Or your biggest obstacle is worry over disaster? Because if you turn it over in the opposite side, but we have frenzied and then the Ten of Cups, which is prosperity. So, and marriage and happily ever after. Are you scared that your happily ever after is going to fall apart or something? Or that you're never going to find a happily ever after and you're frantically like searching, looking? We have determined. Maybe your biggest obstacle is getting over some sort of disaster that happened in your past that you thought was your happily ever after. So now you're scared that everything in the future is going to be just like it was in the past. And you're determined not to repeat those same cycles. But it's better to have loved and lost than never have loved at all, right? Yeah, strength over this disaster. Whatever sort of disaster has happened in your life, or whatever you think might turn into a disaster, you need strength over that, over those thoughts, over those feelings, over that that worried reaction, you know? You know, and everything happens for a reason, you know? Yep, surrender. To look at things in a different way. Everything happens for a reason, you know? If things go by the wayside, it's because they're supposed to go by the wayside for one reason or another. Either, like, every lesson ultimately turns into a blessing. We might not be able to see it in the moment, but the universe is asking you to have strength in your vision, in your point of view, to see things differently, to surrender to the universe and to divine timing, to divine will. Just because something was disastrous before doesn't mean that it's going to be a disaster now. Yeah, I think that your happily ever after came to an end at one point, and now you think that every happily ever after is going to come to an end. But that's not the case, Sagittarius. Your biggest obstacle is getting over whatever this disaster was in the past, and to change your perception, to look at things a little bit differently, to have strength to see the lessons that came with whatever that hardship was, to see the growth in the decay. I mean, everything, if you go to a rainforest, the rainforest is the most thriving, the greenest, most thriving, lush type of forest you'll go to, but it is full of decay. The only reason that it grows so beautifully like that is because of its death and rebirth cycle. There is so much decay in a rainforest, and that's what makes it so freaking beautiful. It wouldn't be as beautiful if it wasn't for that, I think that you've experienced some sort of what you thought was your happily ever after, and it not being what you thought it was. So it's like you avoid anything that seems like it could be happy. Yeah, suffering. It's like you just don't even put yourself out there, don't even want to try, don't even want to, hurt like that again. But how are you ever going to love for reals if you don't give it a shot, If you're so focused on the past deceptions and past errors and disasters that have gone on, how are you going to live in the now moment when you're so focused on the disasters from before? Some of you might be feeling like there's a disaster going on right now, like something might be disastrous in your mind, Like, oh God, this isn't going the way that I wanted it to go. This isn't going the way that I wanted it to go. Everything that I planned is not working out, the way that I wanted it to go. Well, that just means that it's part of the universal plan. We only have control over what we have control over. Everything else is all up to universe, And if it's out of our control, then it's definitely part of the divine plan. Even though it is as hard as it is to see it that way sometimes, it'll all make sense in the long run. You have the law of attraction. Each thought is an investment that pays immediate dividends, so invest wisely. You have the power to choose your thoughts and align them with love, peace, and harmony. At your request, we will gladly attune your energies to higher frequencies. What you focus on will grow. If you're focused on the disaster, you're focused on, things not going right, then the more you'll notice that things aren't going right. If you start focusing on the things that are going right, the more you'll notice the things that are going right. Even if everything else seems to be falling apart, if whatever you focus on is where your attention's at. And we have ask. Ask us to help you in this situation, and we will immediately go to work on your behalf. We're governed by many universal laws, and among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. So we patiently await your request. Like, they can't just come down, like the universe, the angels, your guardians can't just come in and meddle in your affairs without your permission. You have to actually give them permission to help you, Give them permission, like, archangels, you have my permission to help me on this. Like, God, you have my permission to come in and handle this for me. Spirit guides, please help me with this. You have my permission. Whatever sort of deity that you resonate with, whatever sort of guides or ancestors or spiritual beings that you look to, you have to actually ask them for your permission. You have to give them your permission to help you. They don't just come in and meddle in your affairs. And have you ever tried to help somebody that didn't ask for it? It's like they fight you. They fight you along the way, and then they turn you into the bad guy. even though you are just trying to help them. It's the same thing that happens with our spirit guides and our teachers and our angels. Like we have to actually ask them for the help if we need it. All right, Sagittarius, those are your mini, what is my obstacle? My biggest obstacle seems to be some sort of disaster, but I think the disaster is mostly in your mind space. I think it's mostly in you're worried over some sort of disaster, you know, that it might not have even happened yet. And even if you have enough information to justify your worrying, the worrying will never be, you'll never have enough information to actually justify that worrying will do anything for the situation. The best medicine is laughter. Like if shit starts falling apart, man, like, wow, did you see what God just did to me? You know what I mean? Like, wow. It can change your whole mindset, you know? I love you guys. And until next time, Nacho Mama out. Vroom, beep, beep.